Anthony Albanese has fired the starting gun on his ground campaign ahead of the election, whenever that's going to be. It is due in May. He is due to spend the week in regional Queensland and Western Australia, where he will tell voters that Peter Dutton's nuclear policy will put up electricity prices, Kel. Now, while Labor is unlikely to win Capricornia or a seat on the Sunshine Coast, a visit to these regions would give Albo the chance to warn residents against the 2 nuclear sites that the coalition has proposed in central Queensland. Kel, how do you think that this ground campaign is going to go for him?
Well, he doesn't have a message. He can't sell his accomplishments. He can't sell his achievements. This is a government that spent its way into high inflation. This is a government in which we had 12 increases in RBA rates, in home loan rates, in a row, right? And they're not likely to come down anytime soon. There's a very good chance there'll be no drop in interest rates until 2026. He put up as his big, bold policy, his signature policy, the voice. And he was absolutely humbled by what happened with that, absolutely put to shame, because it just didn't work at all. He doesn't have a track record. He's got nothing to sell. Hence, he has decided, Caroline, that his only message is look at Peter Dutton and be afraid.
Yeah.
Be very afraid. He's sort of recycling the slogan from the old movie Poltergeist, be very afraid. Well, if that's all you've got, you haven't got a message. I think this is a man who looks and sounds unhappy and uncomfortable because he's desperate and he's on the way out.
Well, all the polls certainly do show that, James, that that message of just don't vote for that guy over there, being Peter Dutton, haven't been working in his favour.
No, they haven't. And you'd think after 3 years in power, you'd be able to do something a bit better than that. But first off, I think we should at least spend some time praising the fact that a Labor leader has cared about a regional road. It's been a long time since the last time that happened, so I think he should deserve some kudos for that. But to Kel's point about how angry and frustrated he looks, I thought today's press conference was really revelatory on that. I mean, today's the first day back at work for a lot of people, including Albanese. He's been off for a couple of days. And you'd think, like, a lot of people, you know, they wake up, first day back at work, okay, I'm feeling better about the new year, I'm happier, can't wait to see my colleagues. Have a look at how Albanese spent his press conference. And I've only got like a little piece here. It was so, through all the journalist questions, I really felt this vibe, but this is where it got worst.
That's not our slogan. Good try.
Is there a one-word slogan, one-sentence slogan you would use? I mean,
We're using. We've done this with backdrops. We've done this with media releases. I did this today again. It is building Australia's future. I'm not sure which LNP member has sent you that question to ask, but they should pay attention, and you should be cautious about just reading out things that are sent from the LNP.
It's just so angry and frustrated. And I just go, I'm a big body language guy. You can tell who's in charge and you can tell who's leading in a poll through how their body language is. And that's not a guy who's going, this election year, it's going to be a piece of cake. It's someone who's gone, you know, Kel brought up the voice before. Now, I really reckon a fire went out of Albanese after the voice went down. I have not seen him that happy. I've not seen him relaxed. I've not seen him selling a positive vision. I think he's genuinely just feeling like he's just walking through caramel every day, just slowly getting forward, and he's just over it.
He really shows when he's under pressure, doesn't he? I've noticed this about him in press conferences quite often, Kel, and he'll start to attack the messenger. He'll start, not that journalists should be without, you know, criticism, above criticism, but he does this quite often. He'll throw it back at them and accuse them of taking questions from the opposition, like the poor guy couldn't have come up with that question on his own about what message is he trying to send?
Yes. Which LNP member told you to ask that question?
So low.
He is not a good campaigner. I don't think he was a good campaigner last time. And he hasn't come to terms with the fact that he didn't win that election. Scott Morrison lost it. And there's an old saying in politics, it's not oppositions that win elections, it's governments that lose them. That's what happened last time. So if he had a high view of his ability to communicate, his ability to sell a policy, his ability to campaign, he's mistaken. And he actually said fairly recently, he said, I've been underestimated all my political life. No, actually, Albo, we got it fairly right, and you're not as good as you think you are.
I'd say overestimated.
Yes, exactly. And if anyone's going to come back feeling refreshed. It should be now over Christmas and New Year's, and he's had a break, and yet he's this testy on the first day back.
Yeah, 5 months until an election campaign. You'd think, okay, I'm at my peak energy right now. I'm raring to go. I can't wait. Kel, you said that oppositions don't lose elections, oppositions don't win elections, government loses them. I've always thought that you can basically bring down every election to who would voters rather have a beer with. I think that the US, UK, Australia, it's always that question to me. And when Peter Dutton became opposition leader, I thought, the Australian public is never going to warm to this guy as much as they do Albanese. Now, I genuinely think Peter Dutton's got in charge. I think he's still got a trouble with female voters, but I think he's definitely in front on that one.
Yeah, I think he's become a lot more likeable and electable.
And Albanese has
definitely.
become less likeable.
Absolutely, and the polls are reflecting that.